Right. All right. So now we're recording, and I'm going to go live on the Facebooks. Live on. So let's get this. Oh, it's kicking over to Facebook for me. My pop-up is too small.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Let's see here.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
I know where you're going with that. The size of my pinky. Let's see. It's just taking a second.
Yeah, last time we did the first time we did the thing, we got like 3 or 4 minutes of Facebook, online Facebook stuff, and then it stopped. I have no idea why. But we went on for an hour. It was great stuff. I was on fire.
Yeah.
And the last one we ended up actually posting. I was like, yeah, that was wasn't all there. But it did bring my cousin, who I haven't talked to in
you mentioned that
10, 15 years back. That's 15. It's been a while.
That's amazing.
The picture. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
That's very sweet.
Mm-hmm. So there's always something that's good. Oh, meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Hello, Facebook.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Facebook. All of the Book of Faces.
Yeah, many faces in the book.
And
Think we're going to get censored? I hope we don't get censored.
Stop talking about censoring. They won't censor you. All right. So I guess it is. I'm just going to check and see if it's live on my end. Yep. All right. We're live. Cool. Good deal.
From where are we broadcasting? All over the world.
We're broadcasting on the internet. If you guys want to share it to your pages now too, you can.
So I got to go to your page to share my page, to share it on my page? Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's like an Inception thing, so if you'd like to, you can share the recording if you want.
Haven't logged into Facebook for ages, so I guess I should. I'll post the recording when it's edited.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get this kicked off. We're going to talk about fear, and for anybody who is watching, my name's Brad Finkeldye, and I'm a career and confidence coach, and my story's all been about stepping into my own confidence and really stepping through a lot of fears in my own life. And I know Bernard through our men's group, and we meet on a bi-weekly basis, and we've been doing this for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years, I guess, on and off.
Yep.
And that guy with his head down, his name's Richard.
And sharing.
Sharing is caring.
I'm not good at this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh!
No, you overshare too much. That's the problem. And
Perhaps.
Richard is a men's coach as well. And Bernard lives in Mexico with his chickens and his wife.
And a dog.
And his dog. And Richard lives in Canada. I can't remember the area.
Kitchener, Ontario.
Kitchener, Ontario. And Richard started the men's group a few years ago. And we get together bi-weekly on Tuesdays, and we share who we are, what we're up to in our life, and what's really going on. We share our feelings, emotions about what's happening. And so a lot of fears going around the world right now. And I thought of Bernard's story, and I thought, how a few years ago you had written
when I joined the group.
Yeah. And how you had written this book, and you poured a lot of your life into it. And then you finished it, right? And then
you
didn't want to put it out to the world, like really go into it.
No.
Yeah. So, I don't want to take over, but why don't you, or whatever, why don't you just share your story, and then we'll go back and forth.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think we need to go into detail of the work itself, but suffice to say that it's a book that challenges a number of our perception on the origin of Judaism and Christianity and Islam.
The
So it
minor
is a
stuff.
sensitive topic, minor stuff, yes. And but I have a mom who's very religious, very deep into it, and a dad who's been very skeptic all his life. So I've kind of been raised in between those two positions. And anyway, I came across this idea, which I started digging into. At first, I kind of thought it was a bit of a ridiculous idea. I mean, the idea, just for sake of discussion here, is the idea that Abraham made a covenant with a lord or man as opposed to a deity, and that's the idea behind the book. And so I started digging into it, and initially I was incredulous about the whole thing, but I was curious and I started digging into it. And the more I dug, the more I found evidence and ideas and things that made this hold together.
Uh-huh.
And for years and years, I've basically been looking and gathering information and collecting stuff and building the puzzle, but the puzzle was never perfect. It was always missing a little something. I was always afraid that because of the topic, because of what I was trying to do, people would make fun of me. And, because I'm not a scholar in the field. So I'm more of a autodidact. And so, I had that lack of confidence and fear, to be honest. And when I joined the men's group, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, I had the pieces of the book together. At that point, I had taken a class and a master in theology, did biblical studies, learned biblical Hebrew. I mean, I picked up all this additional knowledge to help me solidify my work. And I was continuously afraid. And actually, Christine, my loved one, would make fun of me in some ways because she said I'd never release this book because I'd never, it was kind of shit or get off the pot type thing. And the men's group has helped me come to realize that I was really afraid of people judging myself and my work. And I was kind of projecting myself in that work and mixing my own identity with that work. And I kind of got challenged to go beyond that and eventually release it and publish the book and stand by it. And in retrospect, a lot of this fear had to do with my own ego and just that fear of being found faulty or not sufficiently well prepared and well documented. And so that's kind of the story behind this thing.
The old I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough. Yep.
Who am I to bring this information to the world?
Mm-hmm.
Just some guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's even present, right here for me. Who am I to have some sort of podcast or something or video or, that might help someone,
Yeah.
It's real. I think a lot of people, if I could reflect back on what I heard is I heard that you created something that you really cared about, that you really put a lot of time and effort in and you wanted to share it with the world. And there are some things inside of it that were very challenging for, the world's belief systems, whether they're absolutely true or they turn out to be absolutely
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's
No.
You created something, right? And you wanted to share hey, this thing over here, I'm not seeing the same thing you guys are.
Yeah.
Like, this is different, and I think it's worth looking at, right? And then just really starting to step into that. What was besides, Richard and I really encouraging you, and you can totally blame us for all of your success, if you want. I mean, but we were just there to support you in your journey,
Yeah.
and help give reflection. How was that process like? Because I know it wasn't like one week where you showed up and you're like, all right, this is it, I'm done doing it this week, and then off to better land. It was a gradual process.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There was interestingly enough, there was a lot of allies involved, and some of those allies are people who actually didn't believe in my work, and they were allies in the sense that they gave me some further motivation to bring that out. And there are other people like you guys who were allies in the sense of helping me better understand what was really holding back. Because I was how can I say that? I like to believe, and I was making myself believe that the work wasn't really ready. I needed to consolidate, put some more evidence, more stuff, because maybe this was not solid enough, and this argument here, needed a little more substance. And so I was in that comfort zone of continuously reworking, digging some more, looking for more stuff, and just kind of polishing up the stuff. But after a couple of years of polishing, the baby had to be delivered, I guess.
Having your own argument about what you were writing in your head and trying to defend it constantly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
That you heard the call.
Yeah.
Answered the call. And when you finally decided to take it forward, then the allies showed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the keys of the hero's journey as we go step off into that path and we start going down into that dark place of the unknown. People show up to help us because it's like the universe starts to conspire around your desire.
Mm.
And you came out the other side shining and doing what do they call it? Doing this type of thing where you were being interviewed and talked about the book and people challenged you. I remember listening to a few of them and I thought, wow, you go, Bernard. I mean, I was so impressed listening to you. It was amazing to see the shy, it's nothing, to, this is something, and this is why I believe this is true.
Mm.
And here you go.
Yeah.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I was so proud of you, man. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, and you're still continuing to do it. I mean, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because right now what I'm facing and that I need to overcome is, interestingly enough, I was expecting there would be a lot more negative reviews or press or people challenging me or stuff like that. But what I'm finding is more indifference. And so that is something I hadn't quite prepared for in the same way. And that's another type of challenge. When you finally get naked and step out in the street and people just walk by and don't care, and you're like,
naked guy.
What? Hello? Yeah, exactly. And so that's something else. And again, it's all part of, I guess, the ego, and in some ways as well. Just in terms of accepting the fact that this means a lot to me. It means it's 15 years of my life. So it means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to the world. But whether the world cares or not, that's not up to me.
Well, you can rock the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to. Yep. Yep.
It could just be
but you got a lot of competition right now.
For rocking the boat.
And rocking the boat. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, how can you spin your book for COVID-19?
Ouch. Yeah.
The origins of COVID-19 all the way back to
All the way
Abraham.
back to Abraham.
he was the original.
3,500 years ago.
And if you don't make this covenant, your ancestors will fall prey.
Yeah.
And if you want to be saved, send your money to this address. Can you
Can you put the address up? Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll release
exactly.
you from the curse.
Yes.
You know what? I thought it'd be interesting to share. I wanted to share my screen and just share the hero's journey.
Yes, that was great.
Um,
That's a great
understand
thing.
the process, because I think it's cool when you have the awareness of it. So,
And I actually wanted to speak a little bit more to the abyss, because it's in the abyss that I believe, Bernard, is when you felt all of that. I'm not good enough. All those stories that were coming up, and you've wrestled with them, and you fought them and embraced them as part of you, and came out the other side.
Yeah.
To the transformation.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I
I
love
mean,
it.
you know, the in that place of not good enough, I've spent a lot of time.
I got some quality time in that space myself.
Yep. So here's the definition of the hero's journey, and you can put any movie to it pretty much and watch. So you're living your ordinary life, and then you have this desire that you want to do something or experience something or a better life, or you have a book you want to write and put it out to the world, but you have this, they call it the call to adventure, right? And that's in your known world. And then you have the unknown world, right? Which is when you start to step into it. And then from there, generally, once you make that step, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, you may have a helper or a mentor show up in your life.
I think he said exactly that. Yeah. People showed up.
Yeah. If you're paying attention. And then you start to do the challenges and start to step into that call. And then you have the moment, right? That moment of like, this is it. This is the thing I'm afraid of. This is the thing I'm going to battle. And then you walk away from that moment, or you get
fall into the abyss.
Yeah.
One of the two. And in the full circle, you have some sort of win or transformation, that maybe that story wasn't real, or that whatever you're battling was something different. And then you go into this atonement phase.
Which I like to call at one minute.
At one minute?
Yes, because that's when all the pieces come together.
Oh, okay.
And we can become whole and one again. I've always looked at atonement as at one minute.
Yeah.
It's
another way to say it, to make the word land,
Yeah, yeah.
And then once you're in that space of wow, I learned something, I've come back together, and I'm not a piece of crap, I'm not this, or I'm whatever it is, then you can start to tell people about it, or you can, teach your community or your tribe or whatever. And then the next one shows up.
Exactly. Yeah, the cycle starts over again.
Yeah. Every day is a hero's journey.
Exactly.
Really. Yeah. You wake up.
Every project, every day. Yeah.
And it's just when you have the awareness of where you're at, then you can kind of navigate the process a little bit better,
Yep.
And it can help you overcome your fears, or just kind of step into the new things you really want. So I'm gonna stop.
Maybe it's time to resurrect the Hero's Journey course that we put together back a few years ago. Yeah. I wasn't here to pitch anything. That wasn't my reason for coming here, but I created that program in 2017, and you guys were both on it, and and you were a great big help in all of that too, Brad. I mean, you were essential in it, and I think it really changed lives, and then it stopped because I got afraid. Because people weren't reacting to what I thought was so amazing. I wasn't getting the feedback that I wanted, as you were sharing, Bernard, and bringing that forward. And I I stopped and my world collapsed, and I ran out of money, and I ran out of time in the US, and I had to come back home defeated from a 3-year walkabout. And wow, it was a huge piece.
Yeah. What was going on? You want to share anything that was going on deeper inside of that?
Oh, sure. All those things. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. People don't care. But they don't. I could never make a living doing this because men just don't want to show up. But I guess I'm the one that really needs to show up at the end of the day. And I didn't. I went the other direction. There's a very good song from Pink Floyd called "Wish You Were Here," and there's a line in that song that every time I hear it, I feel this tug, and it says that the way I interpret it is that I've left a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage. That's exactly what I've done.
Say that one more time. That was good.
I left the lead role. I left the walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage. Yeah, it tweaks me every time I hear it or speak it, because I was in the war. I was, in a way, I was out there putting myself out there trying to bring my version of men's work out to men, and found it so difficult. It was difficult because I wasn't ready. It was difficult because men in general, I do believe, aren't ready. Or in comparison to women are so much more apt to come and step into something new, where I find men, until there's some sort of big life challenge, most men just continue to move along doing what they do, and everything's good. Money's coming in, and I'm happy, and I got food, and I got a woman, and and keep pushing aside maybe that deeper call, that deeper, the feelings that are underneath that. And I wanted to help men bring that to the surface so that it could be healed and seen, and not leak out in inappropriate ways. And I failed.
I'm going to challenge you on that. I don't think you failed to transform men's lives. You were a great success at that. You just didn't do good at business.
That could be true. It could be true too.
We could go back and talk about all the coaching you did and all the other people that you coached and the difference you made in their life. And you were living, and still are, your mission. But I'm discovering this same thing for me. Running a business is a completely different skill set than coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's marketing, it's running all of those things. And I'm realizing that I've had to face that call to adventure too. If you want to run a business that you care about, you have to get good at business, period, or else you won't be having anybody to transform lives with.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I ran my own business from 1990 until 2014, doing controls and automation, and I was in business. Did I advertise? Did I market? No. People came to me because I was good at what I did. And when I thought maybe that was going to happen here, word of mouth, put some Facebook videos out here and there, and pay a few dollars to have something pushed out there, it never
didn't work.
Out of all that time, one man showed up from my website, and him from Alaska. Don't mention any names. The only person that ever showed up to me through the website. Yeah.
It's amazing the parallels you can draw with my own experience on the book, because and the same fear are still holding me back. I had fear to put the book out, and I eventually did it. And now that it's out, if I'm not out there promoting it, discussing it, engaging with people, challenging, either challenging blogs or whatever, nothing happens, right? So and when I do, then I can get called by all kinds of names, or or just ignored, and so it takes a lot of energy. It grinds at you. It grinds at you that you don't have that kind of positive feedback that feeds you and kind of brings water to the mill to keep you going, right? So slowly the light, the passion light kind of fades out slowly and slowly, and until there's just a little blimp there. But again, the hero's journey, that drawing where you're in the dark and the darkness and the pit, I mean, that's exactly where most of us end up, and where I'm ending up. And so, every day, every second day, I try to rekindle a little bit that little flame, but I know I should be doing a lot more, and I'm not doing it. One, because of fear. Again, the same fear. I'm not good enough. Who am I? What are people going to think of me? All these things. In addition, obviously, to a lack of time. But time is a resource that is easy to say we don't have time. It's easy, and it's a comfort zone, right? I mean, if it's important enough, there is time. So, yeah.
Yeah. As I'm thinking about how hard I worked today and how I didn't even feel like coming on this call because I got pretty busy and tired. The stories I could play out in my head.
Yeah, there's that. There's like a choice point that I'm becoming more and more present to, like where you have something you want to do, and let's just say, I'll just use my example of like waking up in the morning, and it's like you wake up or I wake up and I'm like, do I get out of bed or do I snooze back in, right? And it's like that moment right there of like that choice. That's
snooze up.
I think that, I think that's like where courage is, and like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then you choose it, and then momentum goes, and you start doing whatever that thing is,
And it feels much better from that choice. The other choice is fall back to sleep. You wake up, I'm lethargic. I feel even worse. Oh yeah, because I've made both choices on a regular basis.
Recently I've been doing my own morning routine for at least probably the last 40 days or so. And I get up and do some prayer and thankfulness and gratefulness. And then I go right into like a quick, like basically a 20 minute workout. And I notice that when I start moving physically, that really makes a huge difference inside of my day, And I was just doing a lot of morning meditation, stuff like that. And I enjoyed that, but I was not as focused towards like overcoming fears and stuff like that, and like taking action inside of things. I do want to share something that's recently happened for me as far as like, and I think I've been sharing this a little bit with the group, but I've been having, I've been in the discovery of like that subconscious thought that says, don't do that because you don't know what they're going to say or what they're going to think of me. Right. And, like if you would have asked me this question, like in the last few years, I would be like, oh yeah, that's what holds people back. What are you going to think of you? But it was something I was still dealing with, but I wasn't really, really present to it. And now I am. And now I'm at the point of like, I see you.
Hello.
And some days my finger's like, okay, we're going to do it, And but even like inside of, reigniting the coaching business, I'm doing my own personal challenge. I'm building a community right now, and that's been been overcoming fear of like inviting people. And I'm doing it this weird way where you reach out personally to people and invite them to things. Have you guys heard of this? Instead of just like clicking a bunch of buttons?
Never.
What a concept.
Yeah. And I've had a great response. and I'm inviting people to it. And the feedback I've been getting is like, thank you so much, and like I really appreciate you reaching out personally. And it's not about if they join or not. Like I'd love to have their participation in it, but it's been more of a journey for me that small stepping stone of like rejection, And when I even today, like I reached out to someone that I watched grow up, and I just said, hey, I saw what you're up to, and you've been doing, been really positive, and I appreciate, if you want to join, that'd be great. And she responded, she said, I just don't like Facebook groups. She goes, I respectfully decline. And I felt this little bit of like rejection in my stomach, like, oh, I just got rejected.
There's something wrong with me.
That hurts. And I mean, it only takes one of those. I mean, you can get 20 positive responses, but you get one of those negative ones, and it's like, ooh.
You want to jump off the car.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Book called about going for the no or the getting no's or something. I remember reading that a few years ago.
1,000 no's to a yes or something like that.
Yeah, but to actually go out and get no's.
Yeah.
Because the more no's you got, the easier it was to get. And as you were doing that, you ended up getting yeses.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And it's like that's the next evolution for me.
Yeah, that's a Jehovah's Witness recipe.
Really good at that.
Maybe
had to bring religion into it.
Well, no, not to bring religion, but ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Russell Brunson's the owner of that, and I think he's a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not sure. Is Jehovah's Witness Mormon where they go out and knock on the doors, right?
Mm-hmm. Or it's Mormons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he shared his journey on one of his podcasts, and he said that was his moment when he realized it's not about me. Because after he did like 10 or 15 doors, he was like, he had that same fear and everything, and then he got over it. And he said that's been the biggest key to success for him.
Yes.
He's just
because I mean that's overcoming that fear, right?
Sure.
Overcoming that fear of rejection. I mean, we all want to be loved. We all want to be celebrated. We all want to have, thousands of followers. Whatever. Why, I don't know, but that's we aim for that, and again, it's that ego, right? That ego thing.
We always want to be recognized. We always want to be seen. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the big Tony Robbins 6 rules of life, or whatever, is significance. We want significance.
Yeah.
But something you were saying, Brad, you were talking about that choice point in the morning where you're right there. It seems like everything that you spoke of is that choice point. Do I do this or don't I do this? Yeah. And not doing it, there's all the reasons and all the fears and all the stuff. And yet to do it is the one that propels you forward and actually creates more of what you say you want more of in your life.
Yeah.
But yet we still have the one pushing back and then the one pushing forward. And who wins? The one that wins is the one that we're more conscious of. And when I say conscious, it's, there's all the stories here, pushing against, but this is what I really want. Yeah. I want this. I desire this. And if I desire this enough, it's going to come. And if I make it more about the people that I'm serving, as opposed to how afraid I am in the moment, it suddenly becomes a difference, because I'll bend over backwards to help somebody. I'll always bend over backwards to help myself. So it's a motivator for me. It's one of those things that pulls me forward, knowing that I can be of service. Yeah. So that mission of service, what we did last week, is important to galvanize that as our North Star. The why from Simon Sinek. What's our why? Why do we do what we do? Yeah. And it can dissolve the other stuff, because we know it's there and I'm conscious to it. It's always there. It's always been there. It's when you're unconscious to it, that's when it fucks us up big time, because we don't even know it's there. It's just happening. I'm reacting to all this shit. But when it's there and I can make a choice, and I see it, I go, I love you. There's my little boy again, acting up. He just wants to be seen. He doesn't want to be hurt by rejected from mommy or daddy. And that's just being transposed out into the world when we get rejected because I didn't get 1,000 likes on something or whatever it is. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
Going over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was becoming aware of the comfort zone. You know, the fact that, because I could come up with all kinds of reasons not to do that, you know, and just stay behind here, right? There's all kinds of excellent reasons, right? But the moment you become aware that those reasons are just reasons you come up with to stay in the comfort zone because you're afraid of what's on the other side. Yeah. You know, when I became aware of that, and when I realized that I was just, you know, just staying in that comfort zone, and that at first I denied it. No, comfort zone, not at all. You know, I need more of this. I need this. I can't do it because of this, and that. And, you know, and it took a while. I mean, that was part of a journey for me, just to realize that, no, I am actually coming up with all these reasons not to do it because I don't want to step out of that comfort zone and get out in the world and potentially face rejection and face, you know, all that stuff that I didn't want to face.
We crave comfort. There is no question about that. As human beings, comfort is right up at the top of the list of brownie batter dessert hummus. Brownie batter dessert hummus?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very comforting. I mean, that's what's my go-to is food. You know, it's like when I feel discomfort or something like that, I want to go to sugar. You know,
Peanuts.
Other people with alcohol, sex, drugs,
all of the above.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Side note: this is wonderful. It's hummus. It's chocolate hummus.
Is it?
It's really great.
Wow.
Make out of chickpeas?
Chickpeas. Yeah, it's actually pretty garbanzo beans, chickpeas, water, organic turbinado sugar, coconut oil, cocoa powder, rice milk, vanilla extract, dextrose, sea salt. Nice. I don't know what nice.
Dextrose. Oh, I love dextrose.
I know, he's a nice guy. Yeah, anyways, it's called brownie batter. You can get it all these.
Never seen it. It sounds interesting, though.
Good. So that was
maybe you can post this on YouTube and get a few dollars for that little plug.
Brownie batter. And there starts me being Vanna White or whatever in a spokesperson. Okay, we got sidetracked. Brownie batter moment. Oh, you were talking about comfort
zone. And how that combined with fear just stops everything.
Yeah, I had this thought when you were sharing that. It's like if you have that moment, and I don't have another hand to come over here, but if this is the past, right?
Yeah.
And you continue to feed this side, you know, and just the normalcy of it, right? Until you start to believe that you can see the other side, it just kind of can weight you down, you know?
Yeah.
And
for me, it was becoming conscious of my ego. I mean, I keep coming back to that because for me, being aware that fear was people mocking, not me, just my ego. It's really that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's that, right? It's just that image of myself that I want to protect, right? Says Alan Bernard.
Where did all that start?
small, right? Gotta go back many years.
Little Bernard.
Yeah. Little Bernard.
I was just sitting, you know, as we talked about comfort, I was just sitting here. For some reason, I went back into the womb. This might sound silly, but I thought, man, that must have been really comfortable in there. How this nice warm water sloshed around, and I'm not hungry. Stuff's coming into me. Every possible need is being met. And I don't even know what needs I need to be met. I'm just comfortable. And then I get yanked out into this world. And it ain't comfortable anymore.
I thought you were talking about being in a hot tub for a second. You're talking about being in the womb.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I do like hot tubs too.
In the hot tub, he would have had the beer.
but my mind always, I want it like, where did it start? Where does this comfort come from? I just didn't grow up when, suddenly I want to be comfortable. It started somewhere. And I honestly believe it starts at that place. And we come into our first hero's journey. It's coming out of the womb. And we're put into this new world we know nothing about, and suddenly I got a pain in my stomach, and I'm hungry, and I'm crying. I don't know. I make noise, and if I make noise, people come to me and they comfort me, and I get a breast in my mouth, and oh my God, that's my next level of comfort. I don't know. It just goes from there through life, seeking to be, well, in a way, back to the womb.
Separation.
Yeah, the great separation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Course in Miracles that I've been studying, that's the basic principle, is that we all, I don't want to say all, but that's the principle, is the separation from God, the separation,
yeah,
the oneness.
Mm-hmm.
That we feel guilt and shame the rest of our lives until we go through a forgiveness process. And
I in the work that I do, I don't typically call it forgiveness, but I guess that can be the word. But it's to love those dark pieces of myself instead of rejecting them, rejecting myself, knowing that my little boy's afraid, knowing that he needs comfort, and I'm the only one that can do that. Nobody else can do that.
Yeah.
And when I step into that place and own my inner child, and look him in the eye and tell him it's okay, no matter what anyone says, we're okay. Suddenly it loses something. The effect of that outside world isn't as harsh in that moment. I just feel that. I wish everybody could visit their inner child and nurture them and satiate them the way that we try and get from the rest of the world. And the rest of the world can never give us what we really, really want. And that's just to be loved unconditionally. We put that out on everyone else's shoulders to do, but yet we won't do it ourselves.
Yeah. It's cool when you do it, though.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. And that's where it all starts. And I think that's where it all ends, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
False bravado will only get us so far. Shaming people into coming to do this work, which I said I would never do, using fear-based marketing. That's one of the reasons that I didn't market as well as I probably could have when I was going through my 3-year sabbatical, wanting to revamp myself, because I didn't want to say, are you fucked up? Are you broken? You come and talk to me and I help you. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to pull the greatness out of people. I wanted to hear them have their own call. Listen to your call. What is your call? How do you hear that? And how do you act on it? How do you create your own hero's journey and do it consciously? Rather than just being in some sort of weird cycle that maybe you fall into the abyss and maybe you climb back out and go the other way. But maybe you start learning that you can come up the other side too. And bring those gifts back to the village, because the village needs our fucking gifts. The village is broken right now. Oh, this gets beyond too. It's broken beyond measure compared to probably our lives of our parents, their parents. Civil liberties are being taken away. Yes, there's some bad things going on with the pandemic, but things are changing, and I think there's a lot of fear out there, and I know I'm scared.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when it doesn't help when outside circumstances, like little chihuahuas, but outside circumstances affect and trigger the moments inside of us that we haven't resolved, and then we react to it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I had to return something today at Walmart, and I don't know what was happening, but some guy was spouting some stuff and as he was leaving, you know, and I was like, he's reacting to something, and probably don't want to be around for it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's but until you walk the path and you start to really see that you're the creator of your own reality, everybody else is to blame, and you know,
Yeah.
because I take me everywhere I go, and so do all
Yep.
the problems.
Jordan Peterson's book is something about the 12 ways to live your life or some darn thing. One of them in there, I think it's one of the early ones. The first one is to clean up your own house. Do your work, whatever that looks like, to become more conscious of who we are as an individual.
Yeah. It's if you don't do that, it's very hard because you're just going to be triggered, you know. What's the what's it? I might be pushing your buttons, but I'm not the one who installed them.
Installed them, right?
Yeah.
I know I might be pushing your buttons right now, but please remember, I'm not the one who installed them.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful.
That's cool.
I heard a version of that, but now I think that's actually, if you Google it, I think it actually comes up. I come up with that.
Yeah.
And since we're on that, I got that other one that's the past clouds the present, and the future trivializes the now. Because the only moment we really have is now. So when I'm in the past, I'm not here, and I'm in the future, I'm not here. Here and now is all I have. If I take care of each moment, the moments take care of themselves.
Always have.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we got to get into the chicken story.
We'll share a chicken story. I'll share a chicken. I'll share the evolution of the chicken story right now. So I just did this today. This is the start of. So I'm building this community of people that support each other and reaching their dreams, the Love What You Do community. And I created today a 30-day fear challenge. So it's still being fleshed out, but I'd like to hear your guys' feedback.
Sure.
So
that'll never work. Oh, sorry.
It's going to be here's the structure that I've got roughed out. Identify something you really care about, but fear is holding you back. And then next step is identify one action step you can take, for 30 days straight that would really help you bust through those fears. And then post that inside of the group and celebrate and encourage and empower people to learn and grow inside of it. So that's it. That's the rough idea right now.
What about when they don't?
I shame
them. Through.
Okay,
good. All right, good.
Make them wrong, make them bad.
I was wondering about that. I thought, what is this, some like feel-good place here? Come on. This is life, God damn it. It hurts sometimes.
No, if they don't, or if they choose not to, there's no shame there. It's like, would you, just like in some of our meetings, like, would you choose to do differently? Would you choose that was more important?
Yeah, would you make more important?
Or would you learn by not stepping into it?
I would encourage them to share either way, so that they can start to see, even if they're not doing it, maybe they can start seeing a pattern of what's actually showing up in those moments of not doing.
Maybe a comfort zone.
Just as well as it shows up of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's going to be 30dayfearchallenge.com. People can sign up on there. It's free, and I'm still working things out, but I've done this thing. Here's another one. Most of my life, I was over here, and 2 C words were over here: commitment and consistency. And I also found the other C word, confidence, over here. And commit to something, I'm finding my confidence and consistency. And so, yeah, so I just put it out to the universe that I'm launching this in 9 days or whenever June 1st is from now. And I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It's going to be pretty simple. Just find something you want to do. Fear's holding you back. And what are some actions you can do every day that would move you towards it?
I'll sign up.
Share your story. Cool.
Yeah. Why not?
You're my first victim, Bernard.
Yay.
And yeah, so thank you for supporting me in that. And I think that's what having communities of people that build you up will help you to break down your fears, because they'll reflect that your fears are just imaginary. Your fears, they may feel real, and they are definitely there, but when you get some reflection, you can work through those and then overcome.
The fears are real. The fear is real, but the threat is not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
False evidence appearing real.
Yep.
No fear.
Yep. So let's wrap this up. Anything else you guys want to share?
Well, I think for me, that's a nice way to wrap it up. I like this 30-day challenge thing. I still got to finalize that journey cycle. And number 2 is the first one was to put the book out. The second one is to give it some visibility.
Yeah. That's cool. Richard, do you want to share anything?
I'm really thinking about resurrecting the hero's journey, the hero's training. I'm hoping you're gonna join me in that.
Oh God, now you're gonna talk to me about commitment and stuff.
Comfort zone.
I think that's part of the reason it fell apart last time, but I won't go there.
Are you trying to say I was wishy-washy or something?
I didn't say anything like that, you wishy-washy bastard. No, it's where we were at the time. I mean, who cares?
And I own it that I was wishy-washy.
Sure.
Like when I'm in it, I know I can be really good at what I do, and I was just an unwavering.
And you were good. You were both really good at it. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, cool guys. Well, I'm going to stop the Facebook Live.
Bye, everybody.
Facebook. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yes. Bye now. All right, so stop that, and then I'll stop the recording.
Bye, recording.
Bye, recording.
Bye, recording. Bye.